hello, hi, it is me, it is I, Smota Didi Yorakari on the internet, and I am back. We're back, you guys. I'm very like I have something like cute to talk about. I don't, I'm quite sad about this one today. If you follow me on my TikTok, you may have picked up, okay, we see a video coming. I shared my thoughts on something I came across on TikTok. I couldn't stitch that video on my TikTok either, nor do I feel I'll be able to post the clip here because it's these clips from these shows. And that's a chat also. These shows that platform are, I don't want to use the word degeneracy, but that platform are less desirable ways that are usually seeped or born out of poverty and whatever that Moja Love likes to profit from and things like that, and just the disgusting nature of them. When I started the channel, I knew I was going to do reality television reviews, social commentary, and those kind of things. But I knew there was a certain kind of reality television that I just did not want to find myself talking about because I can't figure out to what end. Like, I can't figure out this is being platformed to do what exactly, because I'm not feeling very educated. I just feel like the person's been exploited, and my watching and consuming of this content is contributing in that exploitation. I don't know how to explain it, but in this case, let's just get into it. See, that's a different video on its own, is it not? In this case, there was a clip from a show titled Teenage Pregnancy, I think. On this particular episode with a young lady by the name of, she's a girl. She is a girl, a school girl, and she's still in uniform, and she's dating another student, and they are pregnant, or she really is. There's no unit here. The way this boy talks to her, I could just... one of my friends recently said to me that in terms of like, if we're gonna go with the binary, she doesn't feel like she has the capabilities to raise a boy child. And then we sort of had to unpack that and realize that it's not that we're saying, because I understood what she was saying, it's not that we're saying that we don't feel we have the capacity to raise a boy child. It's that you will do your best, you'll instill good values in them and morals and respect women, but it's like the world and its patriarchal norms and just the disgustingness, like just how vile the world is. Once they get their claws into him, your own son will change and become something that you just do not recognize. And so honestly, having boy children just seems like a risk that I don't want to take. Like, if it happens, shit, it's happened. But like, oh God, if I can help it, I will. I really will. Like, teenage boys scare me. This boy is so vile, talking crazy to this little girl. She lets us know that she's pregnant. She tried to terminate the pregnancy by using alternative methods. One of her mates, who's 16 years old, told her that, no, if you drink Disprin, that's like a headache aspirin tablet thing, and Coca-Cola, it will flush the fetus out and what have you. When I tell you, it's like, everything kept getting worse for me in that clip, right? In this, I feel she was failed. I said that on my TikTok as well. But what fucked with me were the comments. The people leaving comments in the video that I did really got me quite emotional. People just sharing that my mom never really spoke to me about this. Somebody saying that they had to go behind their mom's back to get the contraceptives because her mom didn't like them. Her aunt, but his aunt on the show, is the one who told her not to go on contraceptives because they're gonna mess up her body. And I think my chat is just how much we as Black women were failed, and how we're seeming to perpetuate the cycle, how we're continuing to fail the little Black girls that are coming after us in the same fashion that we were failed. We must find a way, you guys, to have the uncomfortable conversation. It is uncomfortable. I had to explain periods recently, and I found myself trying to delegate that to somebody else. I could tell the little girl wanted to talk to me though. She kept saying, no, like, why can't you explain? I don't want to ask so and so. But I was getting so emotional because to me, like, her starting a period, just like, it came with like a whole new world, a world that I just was not ready for her to step into, even though it's not my journey. But it was so emotionally draining. And so from that stance, I can understand why when you're a guardian or a mom to a little girl, when it's time to sit down and have this conversation, it's difficult to navigate those waters and explain to a child the seriousness of sexual intercourse in this instance, in terms of the teenage pregnancy. But then we find ourselves here, we have people still feeling like getting your child on contraceptives is you encouraging them to go and have sex. You're not encouraging and or discouraging anything. Sex is gonna fucking happen. Like, we're all here because people like babs. Like, it's no fucking way around it. Like, they're gonna have the sex, right? And then it's like, no, but when you do that, then you're encouraging them not to use a condom because they know they can't get pregnant. They're not using the condoms regardless. It's like, I don't know what else to say to us. Our pitfall in parenting, as Black people in particular, is this obsession with maintaining the hierarchy of like, I am above you as parents. And yes, you're not really above them. You're responsible for them, right? But like, trying to maintain that structure at all times so this child never backs up to you, or you feel like in order to prevent them from like poking out their chest at you, is that you must do. It prevents us from having these conversations because you're now pushing yourself into a corner or backing yourself into a corner where having this chat with your daughter, you're like, oh, she's gonna think I'm a friend and stuff. But what you do then is you just leave your child to the vultures of the world, to people, like for the world to explain to her that no, Disprin and Coca-Cola should take care of this. For that little fucking vile boy to talk to your daughter like crazy because you couldn't do it. Like the hierarchy, maintaining that structure of I'm superior and you are beneath me, of child and parent, that style of parenting is fucking with us. I said in the TikTok that I posted that the white parents got this right. All the white girls go on Yaz. They go on Yaz. And we make jokes about it. They have like all the abortions they need to have. And they also take all the contraceptives they need to take and stuff because white mothers are not playing these games. Somebody left another comment saying a Black mother will make you keep the child to punish you. Right? That will teach you to stop fucking. That ain't gonna teach you shit. Did she stop fucking after having you? Yeah, that did it for her. No, she did not. We're failing, you guys. The only suggestion I have right now is if you're a person who's doing like sanitary towel drives, it needs to be coupled with the sex talk and education. Yes, girls need to be taught the seriousness of like the responsibility around having sex and what that could result in and safe sex and all those things. But it's like guys, we failed this one girl. Like, we failed so bad. And to think she's one in like thousands, like hordes and hordes of young Black girls who have their paths and purpose derailed by like this kind of shit happening, and the boys who speak to them in this manner, the manner in which the tone. I felt like if the camera people weren't there, he'd get physical with her. Like, he was just so, it's like she was like a discarded tissue of sorts. Like, he was talking to her, at her even. It's like, oh my God, it messed with me. It messed with my brain so bad, but we're failing. The point of the chat is that we're failing. There isn't enough open dialogue. We're getting it wrong, right? We have people now who are 30. Maybe you fell pregnant in high school and you were a teen mom yourself, so you had yours at 15 and she's 15 now. And you're finding a person at 30 not knowing how to chat to their 15-year-old about this, thus repeating that cycle of like, it's this big mystery and utaipona. Like, guys, guys, what are we gonna do? This cannot continue to happen. Guys, it messes with your whole thing because children will derail. They're a detour. They are. And outside of them being a detour for you, you've also now brought a person into the world whose quality of life is just shit because your quality of life is shit, right? And the cycle it does this and it does that, and it's getting to be much too much, and I don't know what we're going to do about it. I feel like I have no real answers for anything here, more than it is that I actually do want us to, if you're that aunt and you're seeing that maybe your sister is the mom to child and they're struggling to have the step in, don't cross boundaries obviously, but like try to find a way to fill that space and help you, because it's not an easy conversation. We're judging, we can judge each other as the grown-ups in the situations for not knowing how to broach the conversation, but we shouldn't run away from the fact that it's a difficult conversation, because they our own traumas that we didn't deal with around how we came into our sexual experiences, whether they were consensual or whatever. They things that I look back on, some sexual things that I had happened to me, some that I participated in and what have you, whatever the issue is, where I look back on them and they make it difficult for me to have certain conversations with people because I haven't done the work around those things. We must step in and fill those spaces. We really must. Like you can tell that mom is struggling to talk to my baby sister about this. She's just yelling at her and telling her, oh, you started your period, now you're gonna get pregnant. Give your mom a bit of that grace. Find a way to talk to your mom, but like go chat to your baby sister then, because your mom is not going to do it, and that child is going to end up being everybody's responsibility. Somebody else left a comment saying, thank God like for like the Zulu culture and like the virginity testing and stuff, and I found that to be laughable, and not laughable in terms of like it being a Zulu practice, but it being a purity culture conversation, because the Zulu people aren't the only people that practice this. Right? We have the Christian structures and the other religious structures that uphold and do it more so for the girls than the boys, and that's why I find it laughable. If you're teaching the other like side of things to hold off on this thing, because, and it's also the teachings around it. We're telling them to hold off, or we're telling them to not do it. Like, what are we saying when we tell young women and little girls and girls coming into their own to abstain? What's the language around it? Because if it's simply, oh, you must keep yourself clean for your husband, that shit like falls flat for me. Like, that is not incentive enough for me to not get it in. I'm sorry. And you know what, nobody talks to you before you turn the camera on. Nobody. I don't know if I'm considered a late bloomer. I don't think I'm that late. I am. I had my first consensual sexual encounter at 19 or 20, like 19, 20. And my decision to not be sexually active was not culturally or throughout my teens, that is, or like motivated by religion. Maybe the religion came into play later on. Purity culture is pervasive, and it's just there. Whether or not you are like a Christian or whatever, or you are Zulu, or you are like participating in whatever cultural practice, it's just there. But for me, it was just, I didn't understand why. Also, I always found boys disgusting. Like, I always found them annoying. Like, the boys my age were annoying to me. I found them to be less than smart. And I was also always a big girl. So I was just not the thing that they wanted, right? And I didn't care to vie for their affection because I didn't rate them. I have the words now. Back then, I'm not sure I knew exactly what annoyed me about them, but I just knew you're gay. Like, I'm not gay. Like, that was just, right? I'm sorry, right? And then when I got into my Christian journey, which I'm not on anymore, I had to get off that bus. The wheels were broken. When I got on, it's giving pod code, but like, when I got on that, the Christianity element of purity culture found me in my decision to remain a virgin, for whatever the fuck that means. I don't believe in that term. I think it's stupid. I don't think it's stupid. I just think it's not real. But to remain pure or whatever, like purity culture is such a, it's like when I think about it and how like my little brain, it made sense to my little brain, but now as a grown woman, I'm like, what is pure? Like, what is that? Like, I have questions. But point is, it's not a deterrent enough. The practice of purity culture is seeped in shame. It's seeped in having you, can I please, seeped in, and the, you know, the language around it. It's so charged. It's external of you. It's always you're doing this so society can rate you, so society can value you, so you can get a better suitor, and you're not guaranteed any of those things. So in terms of pushing abstinence by way of cultural practices and Christianity, I don't believe those things work. I don't believe so. A lot of the Zulu girls who had their, what do they call their ceremonies? I think they're so beautiful, by the way, but I forgot. A lot of them been getting it in, but they still get those ceremonies. We'll be attending ceremonies of like girls that are supposed to be pure, but like what is it called, guys? I forget. But we've attended many a ceremony of a girl that's supposed to be pure, and we're like, on account of we had to walk her to Maury Stopes. And that's not me trying to shame nobody. So cultural practices as deterrents to like abstaining and stuff don't work for me. What we need to do is arm the girls, is to empower and inform, so they make the decisions they make from an informed and empowered place, not from a place of fear. And that's what purity culture is to me. It's fear of no man is gonna value you, and fear of what society gonna think of you, fear of they're gonna label you used and stuff, and that doesn't work. It just does not work. I'm telling you now, as a person who decided on my own that I just don't want to deal with these boys like that. I feel I'm too young. I feel like that's literally my thinking at 16, that I don't think I want to do the I'm in love stuff right now. I think I can do it later. Like literally that was just it. That's an internal thing. It's a decision that I took from here, and so there was no effort to maintaining it. It maintained itself. But the external force of, which is what purity culture is, it's about, do they see how pure you are? Because can nobody really know if you got it in unless they were the one fucking you, can they? So that doesn't work, but we're failing. I have to go on my walk. That's why I'm cutting my video short. I just wanted us to have the chat. I'll edit this when I come back, and I don't know when I'm posting my Real Housewives of Durban video. I really don't know. I don't know if I'm okay. But that's it. Bye, Yella.